Bharrat Jagdeo is missing. Does anyone know where he is? Child. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of our audio podcast. By the way, happy December. The holidays are upon us. Tell me this is your favorite time of the year, because it's mine all the way through and through. I already started decorating the Christmas tree. Yeah, I have. At the pace I'm going at, I should be done by Christmas Day. Yeah. Anyway, as you bask in the first day of the last month of the year, let's get nosy as we try to solve the mystery of the missing or missing in action Vice President of Guyana. None other than, you guessed, Bharrat Jagdeo. Where is Vice President Jagdeo? Or as others may ask, where is the PPP propaganda machine? The one that works overtime to keep citizens tied to a certain political ideology. He's seen as a one-man band, known for showing up faithfully practically every week over the past months to do the government's job and to promote his party's agenda. Hey, he's a politician. He gotta do what politicians do. The government calls it keeping the nation informed on all the great things the party is doing and plans on doing. Much of the press conference on Thursdays is more noise and distraction, since about half of the press conference, if not 2/3, is usually reserved for criticizing and denigrating the opposition. Again, where is Jagdeo? Where is my Thursday guy? Is he away on some official visit out of the country? Is he sick or just taking time off away from the public's eye? Perhaps to spend time with his young kids. So yeah, November 6, 2025 was the last day we've seen him working in an official capacity, at least at his Thursday's press conference. The last time we saw him, he was at his usual Thursday press conference in Georgetown, Guyana, where he would have a go at whichever opposition official he feels needed to be schooled, reprimanded, or criticized for whatever reason. And that was when he went full gung-ho on the Mohammeds. Not only did he bash Azruddin Mohammed for claiming his win party won the 2025 elections, but ventured into personal territory. You could even say slander, when using very descriptive and inflammatory language. Jagdeo said the Mohammed family needs to see a psychiatrist. Hello. Okay, that is taking it a bit too far, don't you think? Tell me in the comment section after you listen to what Jagdeo has to say. Not in this upcoming clip, but the one I'm going to play later on in this audio podcast.
It went into their mindset. We're winning. The Mohammed said, I have 400,000 followers, so they're going to vote for me and I'll get 400,000 votes. He'll get 400,000 votes. Only a person of feeble mindset or a feeble mind can come up with this sort of analysis.
Thanks to the coming of the Win Party and Azruddin Mohammed, Aubrey Nertin of the APNU didn't face as much criticism this year as in the past years. Jagdeo was laser focused on Mohammed, especially in the lead up to the September 2025 elections, where he spared no criticism on the young politician. The objective, the goal, was to drive home one thing to the citizens, especially the PPP support base. And that one thing was, Mohammed is no good for the nation as a president. And he did this using the US sanctions against Mohammed as a tool to sway voters. They knew he presented a strong challenge like no other party has in recent time, namely the APNU, and especially the APNU. So Jagdeo, on behalf of his party, needed that idea to resonate in the minds of Guyanese who were headed to the polls. A lot was at stake, mainly billions of dollars in oil wealth. Most importantly, as Jagdeo and Ali put it, Guyana could not afford to have a president who is under sanctions by the United States. The risks were great and the stakes were too high. Following the elections, the U.S. brought a criminal indictment against Azruddin Mohammed and his father. The next thing you know, they are now locked in an extradition battle to avoid prosecution by the U.S. federal government. In the final analysis, The Guyana Elections Commission announced that the People's Progressive Party won the election with over 200,000 votes, while the We Invest in Nationhood Party win came in second place with just over 100,000 votes. Mohammed believes the elections were rigged by the PPP. Of course, we have not seen the Win Party present any evidence to prove this claim. One of Win's most damning allegations was pointing out that the Guyana Elections Commission's website was down for some reason during the time officials were supposed to be posting the statements of poll on the website. We did not verify this as a fact, but if true, you could say it's interestingly coincidental. But let's hear how Jagdeo feels about that claim. And of course, we're using a clip from his last press conference on November 6, 2025.
Not even APNU made such outrageous claims. Burnham made those stupid claims when Burnham was at the height of power in Guyana. And when asked for proof of it, he said, ask Jagdeo. I must provide proof about how he won the elections. And then he said, GCOM website went down for 3 hours and they changed. He was getting high votes and suddenly they changed it. Nobody else has complained about that. Not the observers, not APNU, nobody else. All the SOPs were uploaded almost the same night. How can you make such an outrageous claim, which was then repeated by his sister, that the elections were rigged and they won the presidency? It's evidence of lunacy. Something gotta be going wrong in your head, unhinged.
We're still asking, where is Jagdeo? As I noted earlier on, that was the last day we've seen him working in an official capacity, at least as far as posting anything on social media or having his press conference. It's now going on a month since we've seen him at his press conference or in public. Prior to his last press conference, we saw Jagdeo on November 3, 2025, at the reopening of the National Assembly at the Arthur Chang Conference Center in Georgetown, Guyana. He appeared upbeat when he spoke to the press. He didn't appear sick to me or anything of that sort. Also, a photo of him at an official meeting was also posted on social media on November 19, 2025. That's just about 2 weeks ago. Hopefully, he'll be back on this Thursday, doing what Jagdeo does best. Call everyone crazy, call them lunatics, tell them they need to see a psychiatrist, that they need a psychiatric evaluation. If that is not narcissistic language, if that's not gaslighting in an attempt to make people question their mental state, then what is? Anyway, who knows? Maybe we're not going to see him as much since the elections are over and the propaganda machine has been working overtime and must rest and recalibrate.